All right, good morning. This is the August 9th, 2022 Cottage Grove Economic Development Authority meeting. I'm calling to order. Jamie, do you want to do roll call?
EDA President Bailey,
Aye.
EDA Vice President Dennis,
Here.
EDA Member Carey,
Here.
EDA Member Crone,
Here.
EDA Member Myers,
Here.
EDA Member Thewis.
Here.
Awesome, thank you. Everybody's here. Number 3 is approval of minutes. 3.1 is approval of the June 28th, 2022 EDA meeting minutes. If there's no changes or corrections, I'll need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion by EDA Vice President Dennis,
I'll second.
second by EDA Member Carey. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next is 4 is business items. The first item is 4.1, which is economic development update and business inquiry, which is Gretchen. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day. All right, let's see what we have for you this morning. We're going to talk about the beige book first. Just a few updates. You can see by the report that employment grew slightly overall, and firms are adding more workers, but there's a little bit of softening in the market, and job postings, for example, have fallen. So that gives you some indication of what's going on there. It'll come as no surprise that wage and prices remain strong, the pressures on them. And job seekers are, of course, using their skill set to look for full-time employment, upward mobility, and better pay. Like we all want better pay and all those types of things. Consumer spending overall fell slightly since the last report, but it's still healthy among higher income individuals. And as you might suspect, the lower income households are still facing some challenges trying to balance competing needs. But still a good report. Professional services in the manufacturing sector saw activity increase moderately, and commercial construction is a little bit flat since the last report. But again, interest rates, that needs to settle down before construction happens. I see those of you in that business are nodding your head yes. Agricultural conditions are strong. Oil and gas drilling have increased slightly since the previous report. And good news, the minority and women-owned business enterprises show that sales and profits remained steady or grew in May, although again, they're adjusting their expectations for June. And that makes sense. Everything needs to settle down a little bit with all these competing reports about is it inflation or isn't it? A couple of fun things that happened since the last time we met. The Cottage Grove Apartments groundbreaking, that was great. The mayor and council members were there to help them, welcome that new apartment complex to the city. The mayor did a great job of, once again, showcasing the city and the reason why everybody wants to be here. And they were very appreciative of all the support, even though they made them trek like 2 miles to get up to the top of the hill. I guess it was exercise day. Grant submittals. I know some of you that are on the council have heard that the 80th Street reconstruction project via the congressional direct spend is in the House mini omnibus bill. And the mayor and the public works director are going to go to the upcoming Transportation Alliance to continue to meet with lawmakers and help advocate for the bill. So that was a good win. The 100th Street project, which is the RAISE grant, we're still working on now the rural version of that, which is the state one. So everything's still in the queue. Shops, though, may or may not get any additional funding, but we'll let you know as soon as we know for sure. But the team is working hard on those. Happy to answer any questions. We didn't have a development update report because of everybody being on vacation and all the other things happening. We have what I say, lots of in-between discussions that still aren't official yet. But there's a lot happening behind the scenes, like a lot.
All right, any questions from the EDA at all?
Awesome, thank you.
There we go. All right, we'll move then on to 4.2, which is Syndica Assignment. And Jamie, you're going to take this one.
Thank you, President Bailey. So in February of this year, we entered into a purchase agreement with Syndica LLP for about 25 acres at the corner of 97th and Hemingway, which you can see in green and yellow on the map in front of you. They, under that purchase agreement, have the option to assign their interest to any entity which is owned or controlled by Syndica. And they have formed Hemingway Industrial LLC, which is what the development is being called at this point. And with that, they have forwarded us an assignment and assumption of purchase agreement which is executed as of July 20th of this year. You can see the site plan for the development on the screen in front of you. And with receiving their assignment, the EDA does need to consent to the assignment and approve a resolution to allow the assignment of the purchase agreement. With it being owned by Syndica, no additional public hearing is needed since we held a public hearing with the initial land sale. At the bottom of the screen, you can also see their rendering of what the building will look like, one of the buildings. So quick and easy. Before you are a few recommendations, and I will stand for any questions.
Okay, this is fairly straightforward, other than just kind of a change of name, if you will. Any questions by the EDA? All right, seeing none, we have two separate motions we'll need to make on this one. So if somebody wants to take number one, we'll get it rolling.
I can start off here. Motion to adopt a resolution consenting to the assignment and assumption of the purchase agreement by and between the Cottage Grove Economic Development Authority and Syndica LLP.
All right, so I've got a motion by EDA member Myers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by EDA member Crone. We'll just do that one. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Then who would like to take number two? Mr. Carey, you want to start it?
Sure. I'll motion to authorize the EDA president and city administrator to execute the consent and release by seller to consent to the foregoing assignment and assumption of purchase agreement.
All right, so we have a motion by EDA member Carey. Do I have a second?
Second.
I figured you were about to say something there. So seconded by EDA member Thews. Any further discussion on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jamie. Now we'll move to 4.3, which is hotel study, and Gretchen, you are back.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know, a hotel feasibility study was done in 2014 by the city, and it's been the basis over this past several years for site selector discussions for hotel and motel sites. So at May ICSC, which was one of our best years ever, the city met with 5 hoteliers, 3 of whom are interested and are still discussing with us about possible locations in the city for expansion. But as a part of that, they said, well, do you have your updated hotel feasibility study? To which we said, we are working on it and we'll discuss it with the EDA at their next meeting. And so during those interim discussions with hoteliers, the folks at HVS were highly recommended, both within their industry and with the folks who actually do the site selection for hotels. Ron Thomas is his last name, is one of them that does quite a bit of work for Cushman Wakefield, and he said they're the best in the business at doing feasibility studies. They're not the least expensive, but they are the best. So, you know how that goes, right? You get what you pay for, the old saying is. The process, should this be approved, would be that they would consist of 5 phases. The 5 phases are in the proposal. It would include some site visits or visits. It'd take about 45 days to complete, so it would be done before the end of the year. The executive director and staff did thoroughly review the proposal. It meets all the elements of the things that we would hope to get from the study. And the total cost for all 5 phases is $14,000, so it won't exceed that. You have a recommendation before you, and we're happy to answer any questions about it. But we would like to move forward if you so agree.
All right, so EDA, any questions at all? Yeah, EDA member Thews.
Just curious, did it have to go to competitive bid, or did you just choose a vendor to use?
This type of service does not have to go to competitive bid, and it's under, well, I'm going to quote Texas, it was always under 25,000, but Brenda may know. Yeah. So it's a professional service, so there aren't a lot of people who actually do this for a living, so. But we did look, and we did look at the person that did the previous study, and they were more around about $10,000. But in looking at that hotel study, I'm not sure that everybody got the results they were hoping for. You don't want them going in with the expectation, just because we know our city well and we know that there's 2 ideal spots for hotels. That doesn't mean there might not be better spots or different spots. So we want to make sure that the study takes a look at the entire city irrespective of our assumptions about where things might go.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I guess I'll piggyback on that, because when we had the meeting with Ron Thomas is one of them, but also when we talked to a couple other entities, different hotels, this name came up as a very reputable, and also somebody that they trust their numbers. Nothing against the one that we had before.
Sure.
They're known, but the other one tends, like you said, to say, okay, well, we kind of picked where we think the site should be as a city, whereas these guys will say, okay, really, we think you should go here, and this is why, and then have some concrete data. So we wanted to make sure that we have who the hotel companies want as kind of their guide, because it'll make it easier for us to move through the process. So just want to make that aware. I don't know if you want to add anything, Councilmember Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor. It's the pedigree that goes along with the company, and the reputation. And so we feel confident that what this study is going to show is that we've got a tremendous need. So when you look at all of the different end users here that can benefit from this, we've got an athletic association that has major tournaments that come in, some national tournaments. We've got wedding venues, we've got corporate partners in the industrial business park. Many of them are corporate headquarters where they bring people in for training here. And we've got a community of 40,000 people that sometimes folks need to have places for their relatives or other friends to stay when they come to town. So we're very confident that this is going to demonstrate that there's a need. And I kind of draw a little bit of a parallel to this with what happened with Grove 80 Apartments. When we had not had a new apartment building structure brought here since I think 1994. And so there was a feasibility study that was done on that, demonstrated there was a need. We had an investor come in, they achieved great success, and now we've got additional opportunities coming our way. So I see this kind of paving the same opportunity for us as we move forward. It's one of those necessary things that you have to do, just crossing Ts and dotting Is. And I feel really good about it, and I concur with the mayor. These are requests we've heard from different investors that are out there.
Sounds good. All right. Any other questions?
Just general timeline expectations for them to turn it around once we've committed to it?
About 45 days.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, we do have a motion before us. Who would like to make it?
I'll make the motion, Mayor, to approve the proposal from HVS LLC to complete a hotel feasibility study in the amount not to exceed $14,000.
All right, so we have a motion by EDA Vice President Dennis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by EDA Member Crone. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next and last under business items is 4.4, which is NorthPoint Phase 1A TIF Agreement. And Gretchen, you have this one too.
Thank you, sir. All right, Ryan, this is yours. So you all recall that NorthPoint received master plan approval back in December of 2021. And it's approximately 252 acres with 9 separate buildings. It's a phased development, so it requires that we make sure we review and improve each step of the process to make sure it's compliant with the master plan. You all, as an authority, received approval for the creation of the TIF District 1-20 for now what is the Cottage Grove Logistics Park, also known as NorthPoint, and created the TIF District. And at that meeting, you required that each phase be brought back to you. So that's what this is. It is returning NorthPoint Phase 1A, as they're calling it, Building 3, marked in yellow on the map. And it's approximately 30 acres located at south of 100th Street for the Phase 1A Cottage Grove Logistics Master Master Site Plan. Sorry, my COVID's still getting my voice. With proposed construction of a Building 3, which is 520,000 square feet, and it's going to be used for either warehousing, manufacturing, distribution, or office space, or all of them. And again, that's the overall site plan. And the Planning Commission reviewed and held a public hearing for NorthPoint's request at their July 25th meeting, and they voted to recommend approval 7-0 of the Phase 1A building. And the City Council will consider this request at their August 17th meeting. And we'd be happy to answer any questions, and the recommendation is before you.
Okay, again, EDA, any questions for representative for NorthPoint who's here? For number 3 already. I saw the second building going up. The first was obviously there. I know you're still working on it, but did you have anything you wanted to add, or?
No, absolutely. Thank you
You're
so
welcome to
much
come up.
For representing. No, I'd love to just give just a quick, construction update as well. Like you said, we have walls standing here at Building 2, almost 500,000 square foot of building. Roofing's starting this week, so Building 1 is shortly following behind. Precast panels have been delivered this week, and next thing you know, in 2 weeks, that building will be standing as well. So excited to bring another 500,000 square foot building to you today. So
Sounds
thank
good.
you all.
Just for the record, can you state your name and address?
Absolutely. Ryan Zickel,
Okay,
NorthPoint Development.
all right. And then, only because I know everybody loves to ask this question, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Any word on tenants as of yet that you can share publicly at least?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
And I promise you will be our first call, as we've stated, absolutely. So nothing as of yet, but, continue to be excited and optimistic, and appreciate the continued partnership with the community.
Well, the fact that you're going for Building 3 already would tell me must be pretty good. All right, EDA, any questions at all? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. So we do have a motion before us, if someone would like to take that one.
I'll take this one. So motion to approve Phase 1A of the master plan for the Cottage Grove Logistics Parks would consist of the construction of one building with approximately 5,200 square feet. Or
520,000.
520,000 square feet.
There you go. All right,
Thank
so
you.
we have a motion by ED Member Hughes. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by ED Member Myers. Any discussion on this? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. There you go. Keep building away. All right. Next on our agenda is public hearings, number 5. There are none this morning. Other business, just a couple items. 6.1 is the EDA calendar, and I've also just remind the, remind the EDA member there is a sheet about the riverboat cruise. We'd love to have you guys join us. It is, if you haven't been on this before, it is a really neat event. And you get to kind of cruise the back area of Cottage Grove along the Mississippi. So and that is September 13th from 11 to 1. And yes, it does say boat leaves at 11 o'clock sharp, because obviously you're going to be swimming out there if you don't catch it. But I would just encourage everybody, if you get a chance, to join us on this. It is a great event, and we have a lot of our partners in the business park and reps and those that'll be there. So it'd be great to have the EDA as a partner with all of that. And then 6.2 is EDA comments and requests. Are there any comments or requests? EDA member or Vice President Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor. I just think it's a good moment to thank all of our colleagues here that serve on this particular panel for their volunteerism. We appreciate you very much, and thank you for that.
Oh, that was good. Perfect. I will just add one little thing that we talked about as it relates to the hotel study, which we approved. One of the things that I'll just share with you, and some of you may have noticed this when we had the national softball tournament in town here a couple weeks back. I know for a fact, because in the afternoon I went to Junction 70 with my dad at one point, and the place was literally packed. Matter of fact, they even had tables outside down the side, trying to get people in there and seated, and that, which was amazing. Which is great for our restaurants. But the one thing we did hear from a lot of the people that were in town for this event was, why don't you have more hotels? We wanted to stay here, so what ended up happening a lot of times, most of it, I think one team got in at Country Inn and Suites. The rest of them all had to go to Woodbury. And nothing against our partners to the north, but I prefer to keep those dollars here. So part of the process here of doing the hotel thing is, events like Councilmember Dennis had mentioned, is to keep it local here. So other than our partners in the business park that are going to need this, another business class or type hotel, it'll be nice to see what we can do to get some additional opportunities here, just for the tournaments and the other events that are coming into town. And then second of all, just as a heads up for the EDA, Councilmember Dennis and I will be entertaining on Thursday this week. Gretchen, or G, as we like to call her, was noting that we were out at the ICSC convention. We actually met up with a developer out there who actually searched us out. To be frank with you, a lot like NorthPoint, was kind of looking at Cottage Grove over a period of time, and then came to us and said, "We want to work with you." We're actually meeting with a developer and the owners of the shops, or the land around the shops at Cottage View. They're having an in-person meeting with us this coming Thursday. Now, it doesn't mean anything's solid by any means, but the fact that we had a developer search us out who's interested in working with us to develop the shops at Cottage View with kind of our vision of what we want to see down there. And we're able to get them, along with the landowner of that shops at Cottage View, together in one room, and then we're going to take a tour of the city. It's kind of an exciting time to see that. That's kind of the first time that we've actually had something like that come to fruition here in Cottage Grove. We've had other developers kind of look at it and kick the tires over the years, but this is probably the most solid opportunity, I think, that we're pretty excited about, and having them come to town. So we will be showing off the city of Cottage Grove this coming Thursday. So if you see kind of a bus or whatever buzzing around town, you'll be noticing it. It's probably us in the bus showing off the city of Cottage Grove. So I thought I would just share that with everybody. Any other EDA comments?
Just go out and vote today.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I did a little bit earlier, so yeah, it's absolutely do it. Make your voices heard, no matter what decision you decide to make. So, all right, seeing no other EDA comments, there is no workshop, which is number 7. Number 8 is adjournment, so I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn the meeting.
We have a motion by EDA member Myers. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by EDA member Thews. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.